now a scenario where whatever you have got in ITAC as a auto-populated is not merging with what you have in the system. So you have to do the reconciliation. Then from there, you file. Maybe I just share the files of how you can do that reconciliation, so that if you have that, then you can be able to do it. So let me share. For example, this sample company, if you can see arrangement of the VAT, I've arranged it in a logical way, which it is good for your own reference. So if we go to the month of June, that is the last month, you can be able to see my sales here and also the sales reconciliation. Yes, this one for the sales reconciliation. So if I click these sales, because it has all the data, you realize this is what is in the auto-populated. The total sales of the auto-populated are quite a number of them. And down here, we also have the credit note, and we have, remember, for VAT, we have the customers with PIN and customers without PIN. So the upper side here is the customers with PIN with their total net amount and the VAT. We have the credit note and the customers without PIN also in their segment part. So if you check this, you find that the total net amount is coming to 1.7. The total VAT is coming to 282,559. That's what they have been submitted to the auto-populated section. But is this the same with what we have it in the system in the ledger for that, for the current month, or for that month? No. So the question is no. So you have to do the reconciliation for that to help you in the coming month, so that you can know this one I've already uploaded this one I've not uploaded. So if you check section, another section here is for the ledger. So this is where I did my reconciliation. This is the sales ledger from the system, which is coming to total of 1.5 and the VAT of 243 for the month of June. But it is not the same with what has been auto-populated. And I realized that these are the reconciling items. For example, there are some invoices for May which were validated in the month of June. So we will say add the invoice for May validated in June. So we will add back the invoice. Also, you realize there's some invoices in June which have not been validated, or they have not been pushed to the e-teams section. So you will subtract. That's why I subtracted. And then you realize there's some invoices in the auto-populated, but they have not been posted in the system. So what do? You add back. So if you do that, you will find your VAT for sales will reconcile, because we are reconciling using the auto-populated sales. Remember, this auto-populated, you cannot reduce it downwards. For example, if we find these invoices, it is there, but it is not in our system, we could have removed this. But the problem is you cannot downgrade your value, or you cannot reduce your value. The only option is you can increase up your value. So that's how you do the reconciliation for the VAT, The other one, preparing the CSV, we have done that before. So today we can we look at some of the short taxes, which it doesn't involve a lot of calculation. I will just be explaining, because most of the challenge I've realized for accountant is that you people rush to know how to file, but you don't know, most of them don't know the principles behind it. So you need to be good in filing the returns, and also you need to be good in the tax principles, because so that whatever you are filing, you know the principle behind it. So if you don't know the principle behind, then you might be filing the wrong information. So you can go to the KRA website homepage, and in the homepage, if you go to for the business, you can find all the taxes for the business. So if you go to business and then go to the types of business, the type of taxes in business, not giving me. Yeah, types of business. Yeah, types of income or taxes. So if you go there, you will find that we have income tax. This is for the company, which today I don't want to focus on the income tax, but I want to focus on the withholding taxes. So withholding tax is a tax that is deducted from the certain classes of income at the end or at the point of making payment to the non-employees. Withholding is deducted at the source from the following source income. We got the interest. If it is for the bank, they deduct 15% of the payment they are paying you. If it is the interest, royalties, we got 10%, 15%. Management or the professional fee, consultancy, agency, and the contractual fee. For the consultancy is 5% of the gross amount, the same with the agency. Contractual fee is the 3%. So if I come to your company and does the contractual work, at the point of payment, you will remain with 3%, which you will submit later to the Kenya Revenue Authority. We have the commissioned, none other than the insurance commission, then to pay 5%. Then for the commissioned, others are 15%. So it depends. So what you need to know, you need to get the total list of the withholdings. You need to know. We have pensions and other payments specified. So how do we file this withholding? How do we file this withholding? So for example, if it is for the VAT, if it is for VAT, you withheld 2%, the 2% of the net amount, the 2% of the net amount. So you can prepare an Excel worksheet, or you can just, if you are paying one invoice, then you can just go to the iTax, for example, you can log into the iTax. Which pin can I use? For example, yeah, for example, let's say we are want to pay for the withholding VAT. So we just need to go to payment registration. Next, in the payment registration, you select the VAT. On the sub 8 here is the VAT. Payment registration. This one is not a withholding agent. So if this one is a withholding agent, and then you will realize there is that section here of a withholding VAT. But since he's not a withholding, is not a withholding agent. It's not a withholding agent. So if you are a withholding agent, you will find it in this section. Then you can withhold that one if you are a withholding if you are a withholding agent. So, but you withheld 3% of the 2% of the net amount. So for the person, if let's say this is a company A, you're withholding for that company A. So that company will get certificate in their end. So it is not even a must you send them a withholding certificate. They will get in their end. So if they can log into their website or their iTax page, and then they will go to this section, certificate. In this section called certificate, down here there is reprint withholding certificate. So they will find all the certificate here. So if you click these ones, like for the month of, you will have to specify for the month. Let's see this one, if they has any withholding, June 2025 consult. Yes, you can see there is one of the withholding. This is an invoice. You can download on this section to know the invoice number. So you can see it was withheld by the withholder. This is the PIN. This is the company. They withhold the impacts. And then this is the invoice number. And this is the 2% of the gross amount, which will come to 15,500. So you'll have to issue this withholding certificate to that company. So this company will have to issue to this company. But if they don't give you, you can easily get in the iTax. If they are a withholding agent, if you are not a withholding agent, then you will not find the payment for the withholding section in the iTax. So that is it for the withholding. Now, that is for the 2%. But for these other withholdings, which is for 5%, 3%, it is not a must that you need to be a withholding agent to withhold this amount. No. The law cut across all the business. So any payment you are paying, you have to ask yourself, what is the nature of this payment, or the nature of activities of this payment I'm making is which one, as an accountant, so that you can know the type of withholding you are going to withhold with that payment. For example, if you are paying the management fee or the consultancy fee, which also has a specification, anything above 24,000 is subject to withholding. If it is less than 24,000, then it is not subject. Those are some of the principles I was saying. You need to master this before even know how to do it practically. Now, so assuming we are paying someone who has done to provide for us the bookkeeping and all that, we are paying 30,000. So you'll have to remain with 5% of the 30,000. 5% of 30,000 is how much? That is 1,500. So I will go to payment registration. Next. Here, select the income tax. Under the income tax, select the income tax withholding, and then put the self-assessment. As I've said earlier, you can use, if you are paying more than 10 professional, then it is not efficient to use the web form. So you can use Excel. But if you are paying one, then you can use the web form. So you will come here and say buy web form. Then you will get all this description. The first one is to select the nature of transaction. So the nature of transaction is the management or professional fee or consultancy fee, which is over 24,000. So I will click that. And then the country, select others by default. And then resident is a resident, not non-resident. The date of payment to withholding. So you have to specify these ones. So let's assume today. And remember, after 5 days of payment, if you file after 5 days of payment, you get a penalty. So this withholding, you have to monitor it on a daily basis. It is best if you pay today, file it today so that you don't forget. If you stay for more than 5 days, you get a penalty. So the PIN of the withholder, let's use even my PIN, F, and then if you click that one, it will populate everything. You can see it will populate everything. And also the rate is 5%, and then you put 30,000, the gross amount, then it will come as a 1,500. And then what you do, click this, add. Once you click add, they will bring it here. If you have more than one person, you can't, maybe you are paying 3, but you don't want to use Excel. So you still indicate a different date. Let's say date 15, the withholding PIN. You can't give another person. If it is, let's say even maybe it's a company. We are paying a professional, but it's a company. 8945W. So it will populate everything. Let's say this one you are paying 40,000. It will also the nature year, the provisional fee, resident. Then you will say add the pin of the withhold T. See, you didn't put the pin of the withhold T. P0 8945W. Yeah, that one. Yes, add the detail, transaction date or month. You can even use that one. Yeah, so you can see, you can even add up to 3 if you have that. And then to just click the disclaimer here to agree. And then come here, select the mode of payment, and then submit. And then submit. So that's how to pay the withholding. Very simple. That's how to pay withholding. Very simple. So any question? If you are paying, let's say contractual, it will change here. So if you come here, you just need to search for the contractual. There are so many. Just need to check for the contractual. I can see contractual fee. Yes. So if it contractual fee, if you put, let's say 30,000, and then put the resident here, and then date, let's choose today. You can see the 3% will pop up, the 3%. So you don't need to worry even with the rates, but you also need to know the rates so that at the point of payment, you will know how much are you going to withhold. So that is for the withholding. So once you submit, you will get the payment registration, the payment slip, which it has the PRN number. You write the check, you go and pay. So that is all about the withholding. That is all about the withholding. Unless there is a question, then you can ask. And then another thing is advance payment. These are the ones which I said we want to see today. Short taxes, like I know a lot of calculations, filling Excel doesn't have that. We have advanced tax. Advanced tax, this is a tax paid in advance before a public service vehicle or a commercial vehicle goes for the annual inspection. So before you take your vehicle to the annual inspection, then you must pay the advanced tax. Advanced tax either for the VSV vehicle or the commercial vehicle. So this advanced tax, some of the principles. That's why I said you need to understand the principle before you pay. You go to do this advanced tax. So if you find that this advanced tax tonnage, like and they charge 2,500 per tonnage. So if your vehicle is 5 tons, then they will take 5 tons multiplied by 2,500. But there is a set limit. There is a set limit of 5,000. So even if you have a vehicle with 1 tonnage, if you multiply by 2,500, still they will pick the highest amount, which is 5,000. It previously was 3,000, but it was changed with the new tax laws of the Finance Bill 2024 to 5,000. So how do you pay now that advance tax? It is the same procedure. You go to payment registration also. You go to that iTax, payment registration. Next. And then here, you select the income tax again. On the tax subhead, you select advance tax. And then select it is for which period, 2025. And then by use web form, if it is 1 vehicle, then it will ask you for the registration number. Maybe that is the registration number. The type of vehicle, luggage, carrying vehicles, maybe if it is for delivery and all that. The body, maybe it is like Canter. That the maker is the company manufacturing, for example, Isuzu. And then the capacity tonnage. So let's say one tonnage. If it is 1 tonnage, you can see they will pick the set limit of 5,000. They will pick the set limit of 5,000 if it is 1 tonnage. Then what about if it is 3 tonnage? If it is 3 tonnage, the 3 tonnage, you can see it will pick 7,500, not 5,000. So they have taken 3,000 multiplied by 2,500 to get 7,500. So once you do that, you just need to click add and then select other mode of payment and submit. So that is it for paying advance tax. But now for individual, it is charging around what? Is it how many per passage? So let's see if let's say we have this one as another one. We are saying passenger carrying the body. The body is can't even say a minibus, and then Isuzu. Isuzu is the only one I can remember, but I know there's so many makers. And then the percentage, let's say 14. For 14, you can see. So if you divide this 16,800 divided by 14, so it is 1,200 per passage. And then what about if you put 1? It will pick, you can see. If you put 1 passenger capacity, then it will have the set limit of 5,000. But they charge 1,200 per capacity, 1,200 per capacity. So those are some of the theories and the principles which you need to understand. Even if you go, someone can call you, yes, Timothy, can you come to my company? I want to do some consultation of tax here and there. So you need to be knowing those theories so that if they can ask you, I have a company of this, they have this vehicle and this vehicle, how can I do this? How can I do this? If you can give such an explanation, then at the end of it, that person will give you that job to be their tax consultant. But if they ask you that, you don't know even the set limit, you don't know even how much they charge per person, per tonnage. So you might end up that losing that client. Okay. Then so that is one. Tumesema the short taxes ni withholding, kuna advance. And then we got another one called the installment tax. We got another one called the installment tax, which is this one. So installment tax is tax paid by a person who have tax payable for any year that amount to 40,000 and above. So if you have a tax payable as per your records, accounting records, and you are seeing that in a year, it most likely that I might pay more than 40,000 as a tax payable, then you are required to pay the installment tax by the law. The installment tax is due on 4th, 6th, 9th, and 12th of every month not of the accounting period. So you have to check the accounting period of the company. If the company is ending December, then you'll have to check to separate 4th, 6th, 9th, and 12th month. So you'll have to be paying that installment in that period. And then this installment also has been categorized for if you are paying 40,000, then you'll have to pay 25%. 25% of that, 25%, 25%. But that is for agricultural, for non-agricultural. But for agricultural activities, you just pay on 2, I think 9th and December. The first one you pay 75%. The next one you pay 25%. It is due on only 2 for agricultural activities. And the installment, it is also under the payment registration. So if you go to iTax, you just need to go to payment registration. Next again, here you use the income tax. And then on the other side here, not here, the income tax. And then income tax company, the mode income tax, it is income tax. The payment mode is the installment tax. It's the installment tax. So if you select for this current period, Also, you need to select for the current period here. For the current period, it will give you the estimated value. If it is estimated tax value is the tax value of 40,000, 30%. So 40,000 multiplied by 100 divided by 30. So let's say estimated value is 1 million. For example, that is the taxable value. So they're going to take, they're not multiplying it. It is the one who you are going to put here. So maybe you want to pay like 20,000 of that, can put that one. So this one doesn't have the rate. So it is the one to determine how much am I going to put here. There's this one, installment, refund, or the forger. So in this scenario, if it happened that you had filed the installment tax for the previous period, but you have not used it to reduce your tax payable in those previous period again, then remember it will be carried forward. But if you have not utilized that installment for the previous period, then the carrier might give you to put the credit forger number, which it doesn't mean that you have you will not use that forger. They will deduct it automatically when you file your income tax. So you'll also need to provide here, but you don't need to. So before you file, you have to put that credit forger number, then submit. That now come back and do the installment. So if you do that, and then you just need to click add, and you will get the installment. Just select this and submit. So that is for the installment tax. That is for the installment tax. The minimum tax is the same case. Minimum tax is another version of an installment tax. Another version of the installment tax. And the minimum tax is also, it's like it's almost the same. It is almost the same, but this one you pay on a monthly basis. You pay on a monthly basis. You can see you pay on the gross turnover. So if it is the gross turnover of the monthly basis is 20,000, then they calculate, you see, the 1%. They take the 1% of the gross turnover. And this one you pay on a monthly basis. You pay on a monthly basis. So if you don't want to pay the installment tax, then you can pay the minimum tax. It serves as the same. And also this one, I think this one is the final, since you have not, you see, this is the gross turnover. You have not captured any expenses. So if you are not sure of your expenses records, then the best option is to use the minimum tax. If you don't have a system, or if you don't keep the record, which means they will just need to take your sales and then take 1%. Take 1%. Take 1%. So you can also use that one as a tax strategy. You have to compare. If I have 1 million as a taxable, if I take 1% of that, I will pay 100,000. But if I have 1 million, yeah, I have 1 million and multiply by 30,000, 30%, I'm going to pay 300,000. So you see, if you go with minimum tax, then you might end up paying minimum tax compared to the other one. Okay, good. So any questions? Today nimezungumza a lot of theories. So I want to finish this as much as possible. So maybe I don't want to go to another one, then utachanganyikiwa. So maybe if we get time on Saturday, we can do the corporate tax. That one now, it's income tax. It's involved. We need to have the audited account. How do we fill into the Excel from the audited account? We do that one. So that one, it will take us more time. So I don't want to bring it that one today. It mix na hizi zingine ndogo ndogo. So the best thing for this one is very simple. There is no procedures. What I just need from you is go and do some research on the principles, these tax principles laws, which you can also get from the KRA. And also, you also need to check the finance bill 2025, 2026. We might have some changes and some